Okay, so has anybody ever been to a zoo? Now, it could be any kind of zoo. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying the premise of a zoo is you go there and you look at exhibits of live animals. Okay, well, going through grade school, K through 12, I probably went to a zoo 5 or 6 different times just on field trips and different kinds of things like that. And for the most part, the zoo was always fucking awesome because it was just a time for you and your buddies to branch off and go run around for the day and do whatever the fuck you wanted. Anyway, I remember this one specific time we were at the Como Zoo, which is just a zoo in Minnesota. Anybody who lives in Minnesota has probably heard of it. And our assignment for the day is we had to go to different exhibits and just make sketches and doodles and write descriptions of these different kind of animals. So we went to the monkey exhibit, and I don't know what was going on or why, but the monkey was laying in front of the glass with his dink just hanging out. But yeah, dude, this monkey's thing, his wang was just hanging out, so we drew it. I mean, it literally just gave 3 teenage boys the excuse to draw a dick, so obviously we took it. We ended up passing the project, and ironically the teacher's name was Mr. Johnson. He didn't have a sense of humor about that like we did, so he gave us a 0 for the monkey part. I wonder where that drawing is. I never got it back. Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to another video. Now I know Wednesdays I normally do my all about anything episodes, but no matter what I do, no matter what way I put it, today is going to be all about the drafts. More specifically, my mock draft. This is going to be another mock draft video. I haven't done one for a couple months, and obviously a ton has changed since last time. And this is also being based that there is no trades. Obviously, there's going to be some trades here and there, so this won't be exactly perfect, but if there were no trades, this is kind of how I see the draft going. Also, guys, super quick before the video starts, make sure to use code WyattzWorld on gfuel.com to save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. They didn't tell me to say this, but this stuff's actually a really good pre-workout too. I've been using it lately. Gives you the energy, but doesn't make the inside of your body tingle for 30 minutes. It's actually kind of nice. Anyway, fuck it, let's get on with the mock draft. Okay, so picks 1 and 2 still have not changed, so these will be a breeze to get through super quick. Number 1, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, still taking Trevor Lawrence. I don't see anything in the world possibly changing that. Urban Meyer expects him, Jacksonville expects him, Trevor expects to be there. I mean, if there's like a golden boy out of this draft, it's obviously Lawrence. He's the best player here. Jacksonville would have no reason not to take him. And I mean, everybody has known that this is going to happen since the day that the NFL season ended. Whoop-de-doo! Surprise, surprise, Trevor. Congratulations, you're a Jaguar. Alright, on to number 2, we got the Jets. I still have them taking Zach Wilson. Now, obviously, they traded Sam Darnold. They really don't have much of a fucking option. I mean, the Jets have been pretty much set in stone on Zach Wilson for quite some time now, even when they still did have Darnold on their roster. Obviously, trading Sam Darnold just clarifies that they are going to be drafting a quarterback. Okay, well, number 2 is pretty much solidified himself. Unfortunately for the Jets, I don't think much is going to change between last year and this year, just not quite yet. But if they do want to completely restart and they need a new slate, I guess Zach Wilson is the best way to go. I would still take Justin Fields, but that's just me. Alright, up next is pick number 3, and honestly, I think from here on out, nearly every single one of my draft picks have changed. But with pick number 3, it's really interesting because it's the San Francisco 49ers, one of the most talked about teams in the league right now, because what the fuck are they gonna do? Apparently, Justin Fields has just been plummeting and plummeting and plummeting, while Mac Jones has allegedly just been rising. Right now, I'm pretty sure Shanahan has the world fooled that he's gonna pick Mac Jones. Which, rightfully so, has a lot of people, especially 49ers fans, a little bit nervous / pissed off, because why is he gonna draft somebody who's nearly identical to the piece of shit he has right now? Again, sorry 49ers fans, Jimmy G's terrible. The 49ers aren't gonna take Mac, they're gonna take Trey Lance. Now, this is going to be a shocker, I think, to about half, because half of people already think he's going to take Trey Lance. But I mean, the 49ers have, essentially confirmed they're drafting a quarterback, and Kyle Shanahan and both Trey Lance have kind of been hinting at each other. And believe me, Kyle, I think that quarterback decision will be the best one you've made in your career. As long as, Trey Lance doesn't somehow go at 2. That would fuck the whole draft up. Holy shit. Alright, on to number 4. I have the Atlanta Falcons drafting Kyle Pitts. The Falcons literally don't have enough cap room to sign their rookies, so they have to get rid of Julio now. I mean, as long as he doesn't go to the Chiefs, I'll be fucking fine. That would piss me off so much. Anyway, Atlanta's going to be down an offensive weapon, and they're going to be down a huge one, so they're going to need to compensate by picking up a huge one. That and Kyle Pitts is just a one-of-a-kind athlete. You're not going to find a tight end who can switch to receiver like him. Now, saying Kyle Pitts is going to replace Julio Jones is, well, that's just fucking stupid. But it makes sense for him to go to Atlanta. They need offensive help the way it is. They're going to need it more, especially if they get rid of Julio Jones. Why not take the best guy available? Up next at number 5, I got the Bengals, hopefully, fingers crossed, taking Penei Sewell. Now, this is pretty much a 50-50. It's up in the air. Both of them make sense. There's a lot of people that wanted to take Ja'Marr Chase. There's a lot of people that wanted to take Sewell. Could they use a wide receiver? Yeah, they definitely could. AJ Green just left too. It makes more sense to draft one now than they were considering it a month ago. But I'm on the side where you get protection for Joe Burrow, you're also getting protection for Joe Mixon. And that's just the side that I'm on. I'm picking Sewell's side. Now, if the Bengals go ahead and draft Ja'Marr Chase, okay, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to be the worst pick in draft history. Nothing like that. I'm just in favor of protecting 2 birds with one enormous fucking stone. Please, please, please take Sewell. Up next at number 6, we have the Miami Dolphins taking Ja'Marr Chase. I was always under the impression that Devontae Smith would go ahead of him since Ja'Marr Chase, well, sat out this last year, and Devontae Smith looked better than Ja'Marr Chase did when he was playing this last year. Everything I've been reading is that Ja'Marr Chase is going to be the number 1 guy to go to because of Devontae Smith's size. Okay, well, if Miami needs a receiver, they're going to take the number 1 go-to guy. Ja'Marr Chase is still here in my book. He's going straight to Miami. Pretty much pending on Tua's progression here, it could be a really, really, really good pick. Or Tua could flop and then Miami just gets another Devontae Parker. I can't be the only one thinking this, but if Miami does draft a wide receiver, then Tua's got a little bit of fucking pressure this year. Rightfully so, he was supposed to be this god coming into the league. Now, coming right behind the Dolphins at number 7 is the Detroit Lions. They're going to take a wide receiver because they literally don't have a goddamn choice. Devontae Smith, they're not going to play any fucking games. They're not going to fuck around. They're going to take the next best available. Devontae Smith, arguably as good as Ja'Marr Chase. He's going straight to Detroit. Rashad Perriman, Terrell Williams, and I don't even remember who their third fucking guy is. That's not going to cut it. Detroit does not have an option. I feel terrible for Jared Goff, and I feel terrible for whoever gets drafted there, because the more I look at that team, the more I start to realize they are more fucked right now than they were last year. Obviously, they lost Matt Stafford, but I mean, Jesus Christ. Up next at number 8, we got the Carolina Panthers. Now, I have heard rumors of them possibly taking a stab at a quarterback. No, I'm not on that fucking ship. Look, I don't see Carolina playing any fucking games right here. The way I look at that team is they have an explosive, high-potential offense. They're going to continue to plug away at that defense. And there is a lot of different options. This one is literally just a guess. Hell, I had Micah Parsons going here for a little bit, but I don't think that's going to happen. If I had to pick Carolina, I would guess they're going to take a corner, and the best one available for them, I think, is J.C. Horn. The reason I say J.C. Horn specifically is just because he's a really good man-to-man cornerback, and I think that that's something Carolina could also stack up on. Plus, AJ Boye pans out, JC Horn pans out, you have Jeremy Chin at safety. They're going to have a really good secondary. All right, number 9, I got Denver taking Justin Fields. Denver needs a quarterback in the worst way possible. Arguably, that is the biggest concern on that team right now. Drew Lock is fucking ruining potential there. Now, I don't think they would do this if Justin Fields was already drafted and Mac Jones was still sitting here. And I mean, honestly, if Justin Fields did end up going to Denver, all that's going to happen is Drew Lock's going to start 5 or 6 games and then Justin Fields is going to take over. Rest in peace, the Drew Lock era. That was a wild ride. Also, with me having Denver taking Justin Fields, that reveals that I personally think Mac Jones is going to slip. Up next, we got pick number 10, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. I have them taking Patrick Surtain. Dallas needs a corner. Hell, they need anybody who can help that secondary out. Patrick Surtain, arguably the best corner available, arguably better than J.C. Horn. Jerry Jones isn't a fucking idiot, and he's not going to keep playing fucking games. They just signed Dak. They have their quarterback. Now they need to address their problems and draft a fucking cornerback. By the way, I'm not a fan of Dallas. If they want to fuck this up, go right for it. I'll be happy as a bee. I'm just saying, Patrick Surtain to Dallas in pick number 10 of the draft only makes the most sense possible. Now, if Patrick Surtain were to go to Carolina, I'm going to go ahead and say J.C. Horn would go to Dallas. Plus, there would be 2 Bama cornerbacks on Dallas then with Trayvon Diggs joining him. On to number 11, we got the New York Giants taking Micah Parsons. This is another team that I could see taking 6 or 7 different positions. They've got a healthy Daniel Jones, they've got a healthy Saquon, they've got a healthy Kenny right now, they've got a healthy Sterling, they've got a healthy Darius, they've got a healthy Evan Ingram. Unless they took a stab at the O-line, maybe if Sewell dropped that far, I just don't see him doing anything with their offense this early. Now, I've already said time and time again, they have a really underrated defense. New York should get a young linebacker, a young good linebacker like Micah Parsons, and throw him in that defense and let him develop. It's a good choice, but more importantly, it just makes sense. Up next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at number 12. Honest to God, they could take anybody. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to guess they're going to take Jalen Waddle just because they're going to have to try and give Jalen Hurts some fucking help. Wow, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor, Jalen Waddle, that would be crazy. But that's just my guess. I have no idea. They could take an O-lineman, they could take a DB, they could take a corner. I have no fucking idea. Like I said, this is a complete guess, but I think Jalen is going to waddle his ass right into Philadelphia with Jalen and other Jalen. And the Eagles are still going to suck. But hey, they could have a young, good core. All right, at number 13, I have the Chargers taking Christian Darrisaw. Chargers could use a couple of different things too, but I think an offensive lineman is probably one of the most important things that they do need. Plus, they have Herbert, they have Eckler, they have Keenan, they have Mike Williams. Like, unless some ungodforsaken reason and a miracle happens and Kyle Pitts drops to 13, I don't think they're going to take anybody else besides an offensive lineman this early. And yeah, they could take a corner or somebody to help their secondary, but I think the Chargers and the Bengals are kind of in the same boat, and they need protection from more than just one person. And from what we saw last year, Justin Herbert apparently doesn't need any more fucking help, although Hunter Henry leaving is probably going to suck. All right, at number 14, we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking Rashawn Slater. So look at that team. They have one of the most electric offenses in the entire NFL. Oh, but if you have all offense, then why wouldn't they take a defensive person? Their defense was awful last year. But they've had the same problem on offense they've had for like the last 4 fucking years, and that is a dog shit offensive line. I've said this 100 times, and I'll continue to say it because it's so goddamn true. The Vikings went 7-9 last year with a defense that did not have the following players that they have now. Well, if they did have them, they were hurt. Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Michael Pierce, Danielle Hunter, Patrick Peterson. Take an offensive line. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes to see it happen, but it's gotta happen. Dude, if these 2 to 3 years that Minnesota is taking on offensive linemen ends up paying out, they are eventually going to have a brick wall. And I think right now, Rashawn Slater would be the best available option. All right, and number 15 at the Patriots, I'm sure you could guess it, I have them taking Mac Jones. If any of the 5 quarterbacks that I named fall to number 15, they're going to New England. I don't fucking care. Unless there's some miracle where Cam resurrects himself, this is going to be his final year in New England. Why not get somebody young and get them ready to go for next year? As long as they're available. I mean, if it's Kyle Trask, they're not going to fucking do it. But in this fantasy situation, Mac Jones is sitting at 15. Bill Belichick is going to swipe him right up. And Mac Jones with Bill Belichick is going to be a completely different player than Mac Jones with Kyle Shanahan. Just saying. Alright guys, and that is it for my mock draft and for the All About Anything mock draft edition. For anybody who's wondering, is All About Anything coming back? Yes, it is coming back. This was just a special edition and I needed to get this out before the draft, so I chose today to do it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did like it, you already know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share it, help me whatever way I can get. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys haven't yet, join my Discord. The link will be in the description, guys. I'm always giving little teasers about what my video of the day is. Anyway, guys, you know the drill. I hope you all have a terrific rest of your day. And as always, I will see you in the next video.